This is TechCrunch. AI may be booming, but behind the scenes, companies are wasting vast amounts of expensive compute. GPUs sit idle, workloads are over-provisioned, and cloud costs continue to climb. ScaleOps believes the problem is not a shortage, it's mismanagement. As TechCrunch's Kate Park writes, the startup, which builds software that automatically manages and reallocates computing resources in real time, has raised $130 million at an $800 million valuation. That's according to a company announcement on Monday. The Series C funding round was led by Insight Partners, with participation from existing investors like Lightspeed Venture Partners, NFX, Picture Capital, and others. The company says its software reduces cloud and AI infrastructure costs by as much as 80%. Now, ScaleOps was co-founded back in 2022 by Yodar Shafrir, a former engineer at Run AI, a GPU orchestration startup acquired by NVIDIA, after seeing firsthand how difficult it was for companies to manage increasingly complex AI workloads. While tools like Kubernetes help run applications across large clusters of machines, they often rely on static configurations that struggle to keep up with fast-changing demand, leading to underused GPUs, performance issues, and costly inefficiencies. As Shafrir told TechCrunch, as part of my role at Run AI, I met many customers, especially DevOps teams. While they really liked what Run AI provided, they still struggled to manage their production workloads, especially as inference workloads became more common in the AI era. When I zoomed out, I realized the problem wasn't just GPUs. It extended to compute, memory, storage, and networking. The same patterns kept repeating. Teams were failing to manage resources efficiently. DevOps teams often found themselves chasing down multiple stakeholders to resolve issues, and too often, those efforts fell short. Most existing tools offered visibility into problems, but stopped short of delivering actual solutions. That gap revealed a significant market opportunity. ScaleOps connects application needs with infrastructure decisions in real time and provides a fully autonomous solution that manages infrastructure end-to-end. Shafrir said, Kubernetes is a great system. It's flexible and highly configurable, but that's also the problem. Kubernetes relies heavily on static configurations. Applications today are highly dynamic, which requires constant manual work across teams. You need something that understands the context of each application, what it needs, how it behaves, and how the environment is changing. Now, there are several players already in this space, including Cast AI, Kubecost, and Spot. While many companies have introduced automation tools, they often operate without full context, which can lead to performance issues and even downtime, limiting trust among teams running production environments. Now, there are already several players in this space, including Cast AI, Kubecost, and Spot. The CEO says that while many companies have introduced automation tools, they often operate without full context, which can lead to performance issues and even downtime, limiting trust among teams running production environments. The startup says its platform was built specifically for production from the ground up. It is fully autonomous, context-aware, and works out of the box without requiring manual configuration, capabilities the company believes differentiate ScaleOps from competitors. The New York-headquartered company serves enterprise customers globally, particularly those operating Kubernetes-based infrastructure with a footprint that spans large organizations, as well as companies across Europe and India. ScaleOps says its platform is used by a range of enterprise clients, including Adobe, Wiz, DocuSign, Salesforce, and Coupa. The Series C funding comes roughly a year and a half after ScaleOps raised $58 million in a Series B in November of 2024. Since then, the team has seen strong demand for autonomous solutions to manage cloud infrastructure, adding that it is still in the early stages of its growth. The company's total funding is about $210 million. ScaleOps said it has seen more than 450% year-over-year growth, and that it has tripled its headcount over the past 12 months, with plans to more than triple it again by year-end. With the new capital, ScaleOps plans to roll out new products and expand its platform, As AI drives demand for compute, managing that infrastructure is becoming increasingly critical. The startup said it will continue building toward fully autonomous infrastructure. Well, as AI coding tools generate billions of lines of code each month, a new bottleneck is emerging, ensuring that software works as intended. Qodo, a startup building AI agents for code review, testing, and governance, is betting that verification will define the next phase of software development. The New York headquartered startup has raised a $70 million Series B round led by Qumra Capital, bringing its total funding to $120 million. Now, Qodo is aiming to serve as a layer focused on improving trust in AI-generated code as enterprises accelerate adoption of tools like OpenClaw and Claude Code. Many are discovering that faster code output does not necessarily translate into reliable or secure software. While most AI review tools focus on what changed, Qodo focuses on how code changes affect entire systems, factoring in organizational standards, historical context, and risk tolerance to help companies better manage AI-generated code more confidently. Itamar Friedman, who previously co-founded Visual Lead and led the machine vision business at Alibaba, which acquired Visual Lead, founded Qodo back in 2022, and he told TechCrunch that two key moments in his career, his time at Mellanox, which was later acquired by NVIDIA, and building Visual Lead, inspired him to start Qodo, just months before the launch of ChatGPT. At Mellanox, where he worked on automating hardware verification using machine learning, he realized that generating systems and verifying systems requires very different approaches, different tools, different thinking. Later, at Alibaba's Damo Academy, he saw AI evolve towards systems capable of reasoning over human language. By 2021-2022, just ahead of GPT 3.5, it became clear to him that AI would generate a large share of the world's content, especially code, reinforcing his view that code generation and verification would require fundamentally different systems. Now, a recent survey shows that while 95% of developers do not fully trust AI-generated code, only 48% consistently review it before committing, highlighting a big gap between awareness and practice. Friedman said code generation companies are largely built around LLMs, but for code quality and governance, LLMs alone aren't enough. Quality is subjective. It depends on organizational standards, past decisions, and tribal knowledge. An LLM cannot fully understand that context. It's like taking a great engineer from one company and asking them to review code at another. They lack the internal context. Companies such as OpenAI and Anthropic are helping shape the broader AI narrative, including in adjacent areas like code review, but they are largely focused on building features rather than end-to-end solutions. Although there are other startups in the space, Friedman said that many remain early stage and have yet to see widespread enterprise adoption. Qodo is leaning into performance to stand out in a crowded market. The startup recently ranked number 1 on Martian's code review bench, scoring 64.3%, more than 10 points ahead of the next competitor, and 25 points ahead of Claude Code Review. The benchmark highlights its ability to catch tricky logic bugs and cross-file issues without overwhelming developers with noise. In the past month, it has launched Qodo 2.0, a multi-agent code review system now leading current benchmarks, and introduced tools that learn each organization's definition of code quality. The company is already working with major enterprises such as NVIDIA, Walmart, Red Hat, Intuit, and Texas Instruments, as well as high-growth firms like Monday.com and JFrog. Friedman finished by saying every year has had a defining moment, from Copilot to ChatGPT to full-task automation. Now we're entering a new phase, moving from stateless AI to stateful systems, from intelligence to artificial wisdom. That's what Qodo is built for. That's all for now. For more stories like these, go to TechCrunch.com.